Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm sure our helpers will let us know if I can't be heard. Welcome to our ceremony for recognition for the ESCs, the Ecosystem Science and Conservation Program, as well as the Global Change Program and the Masters of Forestry. So today we've gathered, there are faculty and students here. I'm seeing staff. This is so exciting. This is going to be great. So there's some in the chat box we'll be using for notifications. Melissa is helping us out if you can see the directions. And just as a reminder, we'll try to keep the videos off unless you're speaking. And so we'll be sort of passing the baton among faculty, which will be fun and exciting. And the goal of today's session is to recognize all the students. And what we're going to do in our session is basically recognize all of the graduating students one by one. And I've tried to corral as many advisors as I can that were available to recognize all of you. I just want to say a big welcome to the family members who are here and the students. It's a whole different it's a whole different thing this year, and it's unfortunate we can't be together. But at the same time, I think I've been seeing a lot of there's a lot of participation that we can get because we're all available on things like Zoom. So we might actually have people on here that we're never going to be able to make an in-person sort of graduation ceremony. So let's just be thankful for that. So I am the co-chair of the Ecosystem Science and Conservation Program area for our MEMs. I'm here along with John Polson, who is my co-chair. And he is here. He just had knee surgery yesterday. he's in the hat, and he'll be chiming in along the way about his advicees too. We're also here, Ram Oren is here as the chair of the Masters of Forestry program, but we also have multiple faculty, and I have a list of who is supposed to be here. We probably have more than that. We have Nikki Cagle, who's there she is waving, who's on sabbatical right now. Thanks for coming. Sorry, Palmroth is here. Joe Bachman, I think, is here. Rebecca Vidra, Liz Shapiro-Garza, Jim Clark, and Dean Urban. There could be others. I'm apologizing if I'm missing you, but we'll all be sort of chiming in. And I guess, you heard from Toddy this morning, and I would much rather shift sooner than later to actually recognizing individual students. So, because we just have our 40 minutes, and we have a minute or two on each student. And so I'd like to shift to that, but I do want to say that, again, congratulations on being this amazing, resilient class that has weathered this crazy storm that we've had this semester. And I really, we have to be hopeful. I think, it's going to be rough to graduate now, but I think it's also an opportunity because we're in a state of redefinition. And if we can get more voices out there for the environment to sort of restructure how we've been living, what we've been doing, I think it's a great time to get out there and fight. So go to it. So the first thing, let's see, we have a database that we're following in terms of our recognition order. So just have patience with us. We're okay at Zoom, but this is going to be a little more interesting for us. So actually, the first person I'd like to recognize is our last student in the Global Environmental Change Program, which has since been reformed to a climate change certificate, as well as the water program. So it existed for over a decade, and we have just basically sort of repositioned it. But we did have one, and that's Yiko Shu. I think she's here. It's hard for me to see who's here. There's 74 of you on. And I have some words from Wenhong Lee, Dr. Wenhong Lee, her advisor. She says, congratulations, Yiko. Today is your special day, and I'm so glad seeing that you have really grown in every area of your life, not just as a graduating student from our school, but as a young mind who has yielded to be equipped with the right mindset for the future ahead. And so, hooray, Yiko. We don't have an audience clapping sound, but we will proceed. It'll be fine. And so the next, again, we're gonna do one Master's of Forestry. A good portion of our forestry students actually, yes, there's some clapping, good. A good portion of our forestry students graduate in December because they do the degree in 5 semesters. And I don't think, as far as I know, I don't think we have anyone showing up from the December class. Correct me if I'm wrong, or chime in verbally if someone sees someone who's from December graduates. So we had about 7 that were graduating in December, and so we do have one. If someone does an actual a forestry degree only, usually they're dual degrees with another program with the MEM. And so we have one forester who did Masters of Forestry solo, so he is graduating actually on time, and Joe Bachman is queued up to say a few words.
Yes, I'm Joe Bachman. I teach natural resource finance here, and believe it or not, I am a forestry graduate of this institution with forestry only degree. So with no further ado, I'd like to recognize Colin Carroll as our Master of Forestry graduate this particular term. And like Jen recognized, we have some others coming a little later who are doing a little extra work. Colin, are you here? Please show yourself. I'm not sure that he's here.
He's there.
Is he? Yes.
Yes.
We've got the whole family. That's excellent. That's excellent. So Colin's master's project was on silvopasture, which is the combination of livestock grazing as well as the growing of a woody crop, being trees. And he did a masterful job of this. And it even had a little bit of finance in there. So well done, Colin. I'd also like to recognize Colin for being one of the co-chairs of our Society of American Foresters student chapter. And I'd like to add that Colin's a leader, and not only in formal leadership with the SAF group, which provides a number of services to the school and its community, but also a lot of informal leadership. And I've always appreciated his presence, not only in class, but around the school. So a job very well done, Colin, and congratulations. And the last thing is he really looks the part as well. So my best to you and your family.
Jennifer, it's back to you.
Thank you. Sorry, my internet just booted me off. Now I'm on my mobile hotspot. Oh, technology, I love it. So it's back to me from, where did we leave off? I'm sorry.
We finished with Colin. Very nice words from Joe.
Okay, so the next 2 students are actually Joe's.
You just went to mute.
Thank you. I'm not sure how that happened. I wasn't touching anything. So the next 2 students to present are actually Joe Bachman's students as well. They are the ESCs.
And yes, thank you. I'd like to recognize Vicky Jha, who did a group project integrating climate change into strategic investment decision making. Vicky was the lone ESC member of a 5-person team that I advised, and it was quite a comprehensive project of integrating global forest management and productivity into investment decision making. And I don't know of a taller order than that. I'd like to recognize Vicki for her quantitative and as well as bright light enthusiasm in that group, and also bringing more of a conservation perspective, which I really appreciated. And I think it's interesting because not only there's a conservation perspective, but there's one in the private sector, which sometimes can seem incompatible, but there's really a lot of opportunity there, and Jen recognized that in her preceding comments. As we reform what's coming at us here in the years to come. So my congratulations to Vicki. And following Vicki is Emily McNamara. Emily came to me with an idea for a project, and I was just getting started here in the school, and I didn't fully understand the long road that a master's project is, but she did a fabulous job of saying, hey, I want to do this, and I don't really know how to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. And figure it out she did. Her master's project was a feasibility and efficacy of bee pollinator certification, sustainability certification for almond producers in California. And she did a lot of hard work over the summer and integrated it into really a masterful but also a useful project. And it was very much my pleasure getting to know Emily over the course of the last couple of years. So I'm quite impressed. Best wishes to you on the farm in California, and I'm looking forward to hearing great things.
Great. I'd like to take this moment to recognize Madison Cole. And throughout her time here, Madison has exhibited two characteristics: tremendous thoughtfulness about everything that she did, and dedication, particularly to wildlife conservation. And Madison has shown this through her Duke Forest MP on mammal species distributions and through independent studies communicating about wildlife-human conflict, and through her coursework. And I'm getting a little bit emotional, Madison. It's really been a true pleasure to work with you these years, and congratulations.
Yep.
I'd also like to recognize Kelly Joyner. And I have loved getting to know Kelly over these 2 years, and throughout her MP, which was on rattlesnakes and golf course restoration, she always exuded calm and focus. And she was tireless and effective. But I think that the way that I'll always remember Kelly is in the field in South Carolina. And her smile was never bigger than when she had a snake in her hands. So good luck with your new job in Florida, Kelly, and congratulations.
Next, I think we have John Polson's advisees.
Hello, and I apologize for my appearance. I just had knee surgery, and somebody told me I had to get an awful haircut before I had knee surgery. I don't get how knees and hair is connected, but anyway, I did. But more importantly, to my advisees, who are all fantastic. I'm going to start with Hannah Royal. Hopefully Hannah is here. And it's fitting to start with Hannah because she was Kelly Joyner's teammate, and actually Hannah was the initiator of their snake project. And if you know Hannah, and I first knew her from stats class, she came in to me one day and she asked if I'd be her advisor for a project on snakes. And then she started talking about these snakes and naming them all by name, as if they were the cutest little, most adorable pets, and that everyone should love these snakes. And these are Eastern diamondback rattlesnakes. And so you've never seen anyone who loves snakes so much, except for maybe Katie, after what Nikki said. The other thing I can say about Hannah is that I have never in all the time that I've been at Nicholas School, had a student who was so ahead of things. She had her data before the end of the first semester. I think she and Kelly actually had their MP done maybe 2 months early. It was just incredible. And not only done, they followed every, and I believe that Hannah was sort of the slave master here. They followed every deadline, exquisitely written, fantastic MP, very well done, and with a real applied, it's going to make a real applied impact on management of Jekyll Island and the snake populations there. So congratulations to Hannah. She's an incredible person, and she and Kelly together, but as far as Hannah's part, she did an incredible part on her MP.
And Hannah also got a certificate in geospatial analysis.
Yay. The next person I'll go to is Caitlin Saxton. And Caitlin Saxton was a little bit different than Hannah in that she worked on a project to basically assess the methods for how to manage or how to monitor white-tailed deer populations in the Duke Forest. And she's also somebody who's very passionate about wildlife, and she did a tremendous job on her MP. But the unique thing about her MP is that it depended upon the Duke Forest monitoring of deer. And that only happened starting in December, the month before the MP writing is kind of due. So she literally collected all her data. Her data, I believe, were collected by the end of February, and she had to write her MP in about a month. She had to both analyze her data, get her data, process thousands of images of white-tailed deer, and then analyze this all in a very, very short amount of time. And she did an incredible job. And the funny thing is, I would always talk to Caitlin and ask her if there's anything that I could do, because I was always feeling this tremendous pressure for her. But she seemed to be very cool under the pressure. So congratulations, Caitlin. You did a fantastic job as well. Very impressive on what you pulled off in such a short amount of time, which was by no means your choosing, but just the reality of the project. And I think that's a reality we all face in real life. So you're already ready to go on into the professional world and into your future. Next, I would like to talk about Kimberly Myers. Kimberly Myers first worked in my lab as a research assistant, and she analyzed data on forest elephant movement and ecology. She did a tremendous job as well, and as a result is a co-author on a paper that came out about a month ago. So she's already a published scientist. Kimberly then went to, after being an RA for me, she went to Mexico to work on the Oaxaca project and spent, I believe, a month or month and a half at Oaxaca. Kimberly didn't really know that much Spanish when she went to Oaxaca. So again, she had to be resilient and adaptable when she went there. And she collected really good data and came back and did a fantastic job. She is a serious person. I didn't realize how serious she was, but whenever we talked, mostly by Zoom, about her MP and data analysis, she was very serious, and I really appreciate that. And she did a fantastic job analyzing data that we, of course, had to talk about over Zoom. And she and all her teammates, but she and Krista Erdman in particular, pulled off a really nice MP looking at the drivers of the distribution and occupancy of different Oaxacan, so Mexican faunal species, and what determines their distribution. And they're working with ICICO and NGO in Mexico. And again, their project too is going to have real applied consequences, helping the people there manage their wildlife and create a corridor for them. So that leads me to Krista Erdman, who I had to say, Emily and Krista Erdman worked together, but I was just one of their co-advisors with Jennifer Swenson and also Liz Shapiro, so they also may have more to say about them. Krista Erdman, whereas Kim was always sort of the slave driver too in the meetings. I mean, she always went straight towards the meat of the subject. Krista was always happy. She was always smiley. I was really impressed by, things were just gonna go well. And she too did a wonderful job in data analysis. Again, we're doing a data analysis via Skype or Zoom, and so not the easiest thing to do. But every one of our meetings was in the computer lab, and there was a ladder behind them. And so I kind of felt like this ladder was part of the Oaxaca team too, as they analyzed their data. So Krista did a wonderful job. She, working with Kimberly, they pulled off a fantastic part of this team, Oaxacan group, analyzed complicated data because sometimes there wasn't very much of it. And I'm really, I wish her all the best. She too is going to have, I can see that she's resilient and ready to go in the world and optimistic, and I really appreciate that. And then I'll talk, hopefully I haven't gone too much over my time for the number of advisees I have. Oh, Jennifer's making a face. So I'll talk quickly about Rupinder. Rupinder did her MP on carnivore livestock conflict in India. And so she had a tremendous interdisciplinary MP in which she looked at what are the drivers of livestock kills by tigers and leopards in India. And then what are the socioeconomic consequences of those, particularly what is the policy of payment back to people, and does that policy, the government policy of compensating people, is that actually appropriate, and does it work, and is it adequate? So her MP included really sophisticated hierarchical models as well as socioeconomic data. And she just did a tremendous job. She wrote more of a dissertation, I would say, than an MP. Literally, when it got to 70 or some pages, I realized that this was her first PhD, and now she's going on to Columbia to do her second PhD. And I wish her all the best. She's going to be enormously successful. She's really bright and intelligent and hardworking, and she will succeed in whatever she wants to do. I think that I've named all my advisees, and we'll pass quickly off to Jennifer because I've probably exceeded my time.
And I will pass it on to Liz Shapiro.
Jen, could I interrupt for a second?
Yes, yes.
Sorry to do this, but
This is Dan Richter. Sorry, I just saw him surface. Dr. Dan Richter.
So I knew Kim, Caitlin, Hannah, Emily, and Krista, and I wanna just say, let's give these guys a cheer, as well as John Polson, who this year did a great job. Yes, all right, thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Hi, my name is Liz Shapiro Garza, and I am here to introduce and to congratulate and to say a few words about Elizabeth Houghton. Elizabeth Houghton was my MP advisee and also my TA for one of my classes. She is an incredible student, an incredible human being, and she makes her own way in the world. One of the things that I appreciate about Elizabeth is really how dedicated she is, how much she follows her values, and how much she applies that respect for people, for the planet, and her values in single thing that she does. Her MP was on looking at how agroforestry systems can incorporate carbon offsetting. She had the distinction of traveling to Peru. You can see her there. With some cacao plants in an agroforestry system. And she did a fantastic job of being able to extract lessons about how agroforestry systems and people who manage them can incorporate carbon offsetting into those systems. She was able to put herself in the shoes of people who are very different than her, and to listen to them deeply and take away the lessons and turn those into what will be a guidebook actually for agroforestry producers. So congratulations, Elizabeth. I am so incredibly proud to have worked with you. And my next advisee actually, and the next person that I will introduce is Dr. Stephen Yang. It is my great pleasure he actually worked for 2 years with us in what was an incredible act of intelligence, solidarity, and persistence. He worked for the Community Engagement Corps for the Duke University Superfund Center. And he has applied his great intelligence, his great persistence, and also his great compassion for people who are marginalized and who are facing environmental health issues to complete an incredible master's project on looking at subsistence fish consumers, people who need to consume fish for a protein source, and in this case from very polluted sources of the Cape Fear River. He was incredibly persistent. I think they went out in the rain and the sleet and the snow to talk to people on bankside, people fishing on banksides in the Cape Fear River. He is producing not only an incredible master's project along with his partner Martin Dietz, but also videos and images and research results packaged in ways that will be incredibly helpful and useful to that community. So thank you for all of your persistence, your intelligence, and your great compassion, Stephen. It was a pleasure and an honor to work with you.
All right, back to me. And Nikki, if she wants to chime in. Next on our list is Alex Vanko, who also got a certificate in geospatial analysis. I see him right here, so he's present. Alex has been, I think I could speak for Nikki and myself. He's been a professional to work with. He also TA'd for my class, at least, maybe for Nikki's, who knows. He was excellent in his interaction, his analyses that he did for his master's project. He worked on the really great project of the Durham trees MP that a lot of people got to see present. And he great analytical skills, everything. He's already a professional. He came to us like that, I guess. And we wish him well for sure. Nikki, do you have any? Nikki's on. She's nodding.
Yeah. Alex, has been such a pleasure to work with you. And one of the things that I wanted to point out about Alex's work is that it has real world on the ground impact. And even after this MP was all wrapped up technically from me and Jennifer Swenson's end, he's still working with his group. They're planning public presentations. I just was on the phone with his client a couple of days ago, and she was telling me how impressed she is by Alex's work and the work of his team on this MP that's impacts us right here in Durham. So Alex, you should be really proud of what you've accomplished, and it was wonderful getting to know you. Congratulations.
Hey.
Yeah, with applause. So the next person is Shivangi Jian. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right, Shivangi. She actually did a dual degree with the Masters of Public Policy, advised primarily by Alex Pfaff. I think Alex has his own graduation MPP ceremony today, so he can't be here. She did a really neat, innovative MP on conservation siting decisions. So a statistical analysis looking at the different drivers of land trust acquisitions and conservation in Durham County. And so congratulations, Shivangi, dual degree. I think that was our only dual degree, well, at least in the ESCs with the Sanford program. And then next is Gaon Lee, who was my advisee along with Mark Juland in the public policy school. And she was working with us in a group project with WWF, looking at wildlife movement and infrastructure, hydrologic infrastructure projects, scenarios in the Okavanga Delta. And so she came to us, she had great skills in remote sensing and geospatial analysis and a very strong interest in wildlife conservation. We didn't quite get to the field we wanted to, but we weren't able to this year or last year. And along with her on that project was Lynette Rangel. And she also contributed in the project doing hydrologic modeling, geospatial analysis. And it was, they really made a great team along with Gabby in the water program. And so it was really great to work with you two, you three, and congratulations and good luck in the future. And the next person is Gia Mancini. And David Gill, her MP advisor, sent along these words. He says, Giamancini has been a great student, enthusiastic and hardworking. It was a pleasure working with her, and good luck in the future. And I think David also is on the CEM's graduation right now, so he couldn't be here. So congratulations. Let's see, here we go. Looking at my spreadsheet. So Erica Munchie. Erica has done a lot of things while she's been here. I have words from Randy Kramer. I also wanted to point out, Gowan Lee also got the geospatial analysis certificate. We're not being too systematic about that. So did Alex Banco. Erica also got the geospatial analysis certificate. She was also the president of the SAGA group, the Student Association for Geospatial Analysis. She was exemplary because, well, she's just exemplary in general. She also got another certificate of international development from the Sanford School. And so it's pretty rare that students get 2 certificates. That's a lot to put on your plate and a lot to orchestrate. Randy's words. Congratulations to Erica on completing a high-quality, research-based MP on vanilla farming in Madagascar. She was determined to combine ecological, social, and economic analysis using multiple data sets to produce a truly interdisciplinary MP. She formulated important evidence-based recommendations on how to improve the livelihood of low-income farmers while also protecting the environment and improving human health. Great job. Go, Erica. And sorry, the pause, I don't know what to do with the pause. There's no applause. I'll just go, and hopefully we'll have time at the end to have some words if I don't get too distracted here. So Fizzy Fun. This is Jim Heffernan's student. She's here, I see her. I've worked with her a little bit too on part of her analyses with LIDAR. She did a really neat green infrastructure project on nutrient reduction in Durham. Really beautiful presentation, really technically driven. She has really interesting interests in urban infrastructure, and that's such a rich combination of, with the MEM and urban infrastructure. I think it's going to take her far, and I think she's planning on doing a PhD after this. So congratulations, Fizzy. It's been a pleasure. All right, and then the next we have 4 more students, and I think I hand it back to either Liz or Andy Reed or Leah Selby. Take it away, whoever's doing it.
Hey, this is Andy. I can do it. Hi, I'm Andy Reed. I'm down at the Marine Lab, and it's my great honor to recognize Leah Selby. Leah's MP was on attitudes of visitors towards the wild horses. We have 2 populations of wild horses down here on the coast, one on Carrot Island and one in Shackelford Banks. So Leah's MP was an analysis of 300 interviews that she conducted in the heat of the summer in July and August last summer, asking visitors about their attitudes towards our wild horses. These are really iconic animals. People love them, and like a lot of other human interactions with iconic animals, people break the rules all the time. And so Leah's analysis is going to be really instrumental to her clients, the National Park Service and the National Estuarine Research Reserve, in helping them manage these interactions. Leah's also been a tireless advocate for the horses of the Outer Banks. She's organized fundraisers. She's working with the Park Service and the Reserve to try and improve management. It's been a great pleasure to work with such a highly organized, competent student who always has a smile on her face. She writes beautifully. Her analysis was wonderful. She's a rock star. So congratulations, Leah.
And congratulations, excellent. I got to see her presentation too. We have 3 students left, and we have 5 minutes, I think, which is kind of hair raising. So Jim, I hand it off to you for Shubi. A minute, try to keep it in a minute.
Oh, geez, this is pressure. Well, congratulations to Shubi Sharma. Shubi's the most remarkable master's student in our lab in the 2 decades I've been advising. The MEM has been a stepping stone for her to discover the breadth of research at Duke University, her own passion for quantitative analysis. She came into the lab and immediately began a continental analysis of climate impacts on masting. Our lab kind of fans out across the country every summer to do sampling. Shubi got directly involved in that. with PhD level courses in our own Department of Statistical Science. She's now leading one of the main papers on this topic in our lab with 50 co-authors from around the country. And there's been, I've never before have I entrusted a responsibility like this with a master's student. She applied to top PhD programs around the country. She got offers from all of them. She's headed to Yale for a PhD in ecology. She's remarkable. We'll be hearing a lot more from her. Everybody in the lab is really sad to see her go. Great job, Shubi.
Ooh, Yale. Yay, Shubi.
All right, 2 last students with words from Rebecca Vidra.
Thanks. I'm so glad I get to go last because as those of you who know me know, I am really good at being succinct and working under pressure. I also, so I have 2 students to introduce, but I'm going to pick up a third who was mentioned earlier. So I am really honored and excited to tell you a little bit about the work that Kat Lyons, Julia Witten, and Lynette Rangel did. The 3 of them, along with one other student, Jillian Hansen, did a group master's project that I think sets the bar very high for group MPs. The topic was collaborative conservation. They were interested in how large conservation organizations, small conservation organizations work with tribes to manage land. And they approached this project in a whole bunch of ways. Some of them I was a decent advisor for. They did surveys, they did an interview. One way, a GIS analysis, I was a terrible advisor for. So I would like to thank my GIS colleagues for helping Julia with that part. Julia is also earning a certificate in geospatial analysis. And what I want to say about the 3 of them, I could say about each individually, but I want to say it about them together. Their topic was collaborative conservation, and they embodied collaboration in the way that they did this work. Kat brought the idea, the others just, pitched in and charted a course through really pretty complicated territory, lots of ethical challenges. They did their work with respect for the people that they were working with, and really most importantly, respect for each other. So they've set the bar very high. If you're ever wandering over on Duke Space, our library collection of MPs, I strongly recommend that you read their executive summary and then maybe their whole MP. It's beautifully written, and I'm just so proud of the work that the 3 of them did together. So congratulations to all 3 of you, and thanks to your families and loved ones for supporting you.
Excellent. So we won't actually get cut off in 2 minutes. So I encourage you, I'm so glad you guys are all using the chat. I think anyone who has words at the end can say them now. I know Nikki has a couple pictures she had, so she could share the screen, and we could, I guess we can all just cheer or unmute ourselves, or if someone has something to say, you can jump in now. Oh yeah. Oh, looking for snakes. Love it.
Yeah, I just wanted to share some photos to give parents and family that are in the audience a sense of the hard work that these students have done, both in the classroom, and then most of my photos are outside of the classroom. Congratulations to you all.
Congratulations, everybody.
Yes, congratulations.
Yay! Woohoo!
Woo!
Yay! Congratulations! You accomplishment. We're so proud of you.
Congrats, everybody. Haven't seen you this year, but great to check in with you now. Well done.
Thanks for coming in, Jeff. Sorry I didn't see you earlier.
Yeah,
Jeff
my
is on
congratulations
sabbatical,
to crew. The only downside of being on sabbatical is I didn't get to hang out with you guys in the home stretch. So congratulations to all of you.
This is where we should have some music. Inspiring music. There's Winhong.
Hi, congratulations, everybody.
Thanks so much to all of the families as well. This is as much your graduation as it is your students for supporting and for making sure that they got through it. So you can cheer as well.
I'm jealous of Nikki, who gets to hang out with all of you in the field.
Yeah. Not in the GIS lab.
Or stats class.
Right, right. That's worse.
What you doing? Why are you not speaking? You are incredible. Oh, thank you.
Great.
Come, Ganga. Manganga. 没有人鸟他。
Anyone want to translate?
So I will add, I did like this graduation ceremony because we got to talk about all the students, which we don't normally get to do. I thought
Normally
that was positive.
Yeah, normally it's just your MP title and that's
Yeah.
it. But
And
there's
well-
no hugs. There's no hugs here.
Yeah, okay, that stinks. Thank you, Jennifer, for leading this.
Thanks for helping me, everybody. It was a great community effort.
It's easy to say good things about our students.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess everybody keep in touch, and it's been great. I'm sorry it's not the way it's supposed to be, but I'm glad we could actually do this and recognize you as a group apart from the masses. And we really wish you well, and keep in touch. And again, feel good. Congratulations. Go outside. It's a nice day. And good luck in the future.
Hey, Jen, shall we unmute and give a round of applause?
Yeah, everybody unmute. Do whatever you want. Woo!
Rainbow.
Howl at the moon, whatever you want to do.
iPad Evening Road.
So let's see. Jen, just stay in touch. It sounds a bit like a cliche, but yeah, we want to hear about successes, failures, hard times, rainy weather. Just do stay in touch.